And in my mind, it was like, I'm going nowhere and I can't even control my sleep. Like, I don't even get to sleep anymore because unless I do what the voices say, they'll punish me physically for not obeying them. So it's like, how do I make any choice? I have no choices here. I can choose to end my life. At 17 and a half, I was like, I can choose to end my life.
Mhm.
I'm going to do that. Like that was my decision. And I was confident in it enough where I began to sit on my couch and I was like, okay, am I going to write a note? Remember, I'm failing high school. So my educational level, I was like, do I want a sad note of my pathetic writing and like verbiage to be the last thing people remember of me? Or do I like better to just end it and not let anybody know anything? And so I'm there planning my suicide, how I was going to take my life that night. And this is about 12:30 at night when all of a sudden my phone rings. Now, I had reconnected with a friend who had moved away years before. MySpace was popping up and becoming a thing. Social media was becoming a thing. So we had reconnected. This type of thing didn't exist before. That's how old I am. So
I'm ancient.
so this friend and I had reconnected, and they were also in high school. They were going through their own struggles, and we had kind of sympathized. They're in another state, and we had reconnected over our sympathy of depression and struggle, and like the kind of emo kid, like life is so hard, blah blah blah. Now they knew that I grew up a believer. We'd both grown up believers. They were still practicing to a degree because their father was a pastor, but they had their own traumas. They had their own struggles. They call me and it's 12:30 at night my time and they say, "What are you doing right now? I just got out of a Bible study and felt like I had to call you." Now, my options here are the fact that I know that they don't have anybody else's number in my family. I know that they don't know where I live because I had moved. I know that they can't do anything to stop what I'm about to do. So why not be honest? Because it's not like they could stop me. And so I tell them, I was like, "Oh, I'm planning to take my life." Like just plain and simple. Now, looking back on it, that's messed up because it's like if you were that teenager who called on a whim, on an oppression, and then like your friend ended up taking their life, it's like you would be messed up for years after that. Or if you had decided not to call, it's late and I'm not going to bother them right now. And I wasn't there the next day, it was like they would have been messed up. Like that would have been messed up. And that's the enemy's goal is like he just wants to create chaos and pain. And so, but in that moment, they start praying and they start claiming scripture and they start reminding me of the promises of scripture only on what they believe, not on why I should believe it, not on how I used to believe it, but why they choose to believe what the words of scripture say.
Mhm.
Now, picture this. I am at this point just not sleeping properly. I'm partially delusional, probably, but I've also been exercising, like communing with the spirits where they're teaching me how to see the spiritual realm.
Mhm.
And so that's part of the meditation that I would do is learning to open my third eye, quote unquote, and see the spiritual realm. And that was one of the things that drove me to my decision because the spiritual world was just utter black disgustingness.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't want anything to do. I don't want to exist in a world where this exists. And so in that moment, as they're speaking, I'm looking and I open my eyes and I'm seeing the spiritual world around me. And I see the entire pitch blackness just light up for like a second. And I was like the best way I could describe it is if you've been in utter blackness and someone took a flashlight and clicked it in front of your eyes. And your eyes don't adjust. You don't now see everything in clarity and be like, oh, there was that light. Now I can see. No, but you're aware of something else.
Mhm.
And that's all it took was God's making his awareness to my mind. And I didn't even realize that it was the God of the Bible yet. I'm still thinking the universe, some ancient spirit in the universe beheld me and told this person to intervene or to do this so they could like send a glimmer of themselves to me. And so in my mind, I was like, I can always choose suicide. I can't always choose to figure out what that light was. And maybe I could, maybe like my mind is a mixture of Christian beliefs and New Age beliefs. I was like, well, maybe if I do take my life, I'll just reincarnate in a higher dimension and see that thing. But there was that struggle for a bit. But I was like, no, let's play it safe. Like, let's just hold out on the suicide a little bit more. That's always an option. But let's see if we can't figure out what that light came from.